doing something or looking at trading zones or what have you, what I use is to the left-hand side, you have the cross or the plus sign. As you go down to the second one, there's a little, always look for these little arrows like drop bars. Just like the Discord, these little arrows have drop bars that come out, drop boxes. We're going to use what's called a trend line. Trend lines are easy to use. And a lot of times what I'm doing with a trend line is I'm just marking areas that happen. Or I like to also use what's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. This is normally the brushes. I like to go in here and get what's called a rectangle. And the rectangle is what I use to mark out trading zones, right? So for basically, we operate off of a 4-hour trading zone, and within that 4-hour trading zone, we operate on 1-hour trades. So for instance, you can see here that we have these green and red lines that come down, right? So when this green line pops off, that is normally an indicator of a green section here. And I think what we'll do is we'll focus on, and if you want to move it, just go to the cross, hit cross, and then you can actually move this box. So we're going to focus on the red section. So these are trading zones here, but we're going to focus on the shorting trading zone, which is just when the line turns red and before it turns green again. And these are the areas that we look to uh, focus on, what we call shorts. This would just be the trading area of the short side, and then the opposite in between these boxes are going to be the long positions, right? So the red box is the downside, and then when the red box ends, that's the upside to the green, and we'll take a look at all this. So these are the tools that we use to mark off trading sections. Like, so for instance, right here, I would know that I'm in a positive upward trend right now, which is a long position. So if I was going to be trading Ethereum right now, I would be trading Ethereum on the up movement or upward trend movement, right? Second tool that we like to use is if we're in a 1 hour and we're marking our 1 hours, right? A lot of times we just mark 1 hour moves, right? So you can see here, and just taking your trend line, marking it straight down. This is the 1 hour. I use white for my 1 hour candles, and this just lets me know that at these 2 points, I have 1 hour green moons. And the next time that a trade comes in, I will be looking for the next 1 hour green moon somewhere down here. And then once that happens, I would be expecting the coin to have an upward movement in that position, right? So the trades that we do, as you learn down the road, will be 1 hour green moons, 1 hour green trends, and those are the sections we take advantage of. So for instance, right here, you have a 1 hour green moon and a green trend. So we'd be looking to get into a trade on this level. And over here, here's a 1 hour moon, 1 hour green trend. We would have been looking to get into the trade somewhere at that level. And then all that we're really looking to do at that point is make a 1% move. Let's go over here, and the fourth one down is the projection long position. Let's mark it from this area here, and then we're just going to do a 1% move on the ratio bar, which is here. You can see it says 1%, and all I'm going to do is mark that area off and say, okay, within this area here, from the entry point to the exit point there, right? So this is the entry point. This would be the 1% move. This would be the entry point. And this would be the 1% move. And these are the moves that we talk about executing on, or just 1% moves in these areas here that allow us to take advantage of winning trades here, right? And it's pretty simple. As you move forward, you'll be entering on the 1 hour moves and trends and just executing the trade there. Same thing here, and you're just trying to make this one little small trade in there. So these are the tools we use. Those are trend lines. Those are the boxes that we use. And then on your indicators, you have your moon indicators and your relative strength index. But those are the tools we use to kind of like measure, right? So the biggest thing is the position tool to measure long position. The second thing is simply the trend line. If you're marking off areas where if you're doing a review or you just want to see where it is, you just can use a trend line just to kind of like mark off sections. Or you can go down to the brushes, and when you go to brushes, you can slide down from brushes and get rectangles, and then the rectangle can allow you to build boxes inside of boxes, right? And that's kind of what we like to do here. So I know in this particular section here, I'm in a green 4 hour up what we call a trading box or a long trading area. So in that particular section here, I'd be looking for longs. But um, as you move down to the lower time frames to get into executional trade sides, you can see that the tools that we use are all the same, entries and so forth. So there's really much not other tools that you really need there than that. Another cool tool is if you go to trends and go down, it's called a parallel channel. And what parallel channels are is when you find a coin, and this is basically you find a support zone, and which is where a coin constantly hits, right? So you can see here that there's some marks in this area, and I'll mark them off for you. So there's areas here where the coin hit certain areas over and over. You can see it's kind of like making a parallel or sideway movement where it keeps finding the support zone, right? And all you would do is you go to your trend line and you find a thing called parallel channel. You draw it straight across, and then when you hit the first click of where you want to stop, it allows you to open a channel. That yellow dotted line in the middle is the center of the channel. So what you would be doing is you would find the bottom of your channel, and then you would mark the top area where the coin seems to keep hitting. And we'll take a look here. And what you can see here is that the coin keeps hitting the top and the bottom of these areas until it broke through the parallel channel, and then it used it for support, and then when it broke through that channel, now it's finding support on the bottom side. So let me go ahead and use the marker here, the paintbrush, right? So you can see here that the trend goes up, finds support, hits the bottom, breaks through, finds support, and then it starts to find support on top of the channel until it breaks back through the channel, and then it finds its way back down, and now it's touching these areas of support and resistance, and this is what's called a channel. And then what we're looking for, traders look for, is when it breaks through that support, this is the section of the trade that they're trying to make and take advantage of. And then those channels then become basically targets for return areas of support and resistance. As you can see here, it's just a little bit higher. But that's what's called a channel. Channels are used to, when you see consolidation, it's a cool tool to kind of like put there if you see something break. We don't use, like I said, we're not teaching trading 101 here. We're teaching take profits. So we don't really worry about these channels or what these are, because inside of the indicators, the only thing that we're worried about is the indication of price action and volume, and then indication of when to enter a trade. And then that's pretty much it. So it's pretty cut and dry. So we don't worry about learning all this extra stuff. That's just an understanding of what's up there, tools that you can use out there. But for us, the only thing we really care about is when there's a green moon, the volume is correct, and there's an entry on the trend, and then we take advantage of that trend. So for us, a particular trade that we would be doing would be this one right here. We would wait for a 15-minute green moon. We would wait for volume to be above what they call the center line, which happens to be this middle line right here. And I'll show you what that is. This little middle line right here is called the trend line. And I'll make that a different color there so you can kind of see it, yellow. And basically what that is this little line here is above zero. And all that means is on this particular chart is when the volume gets above this center line, which is the zero line, this is called positive volume on the top, and it's negative volume on the bottom, right? So when it crosses that zero line. So in this particular situation for us, the only thing we really need to happen here is kind of like what a trade development is. We need to see a 15-minute green moon, and obviously we can see that happen there. And then we need the volume to be above the zero line, which we can see happen there. And that pretty much signals a trade. So at that particular time, which would be after this white line here, we can see this white line right here. This indicates what we call a moon, right? So that's a call out there. We'll just click it here and just say that this is the 1 hour green moon, right? So that indicates a trade that's happening coming up, and then from there we would just look for the signs of an entry point or confirmation, which is the 15-minute moon, and then obviously positive volume, and then we would take advantage of the trade that literally happened in this little zone right here. right? And for us, that just simply means that getting in somewhere here, and we would want a 1% move, which is right about here. That just means that no matter where we got in the trade down below here, inside this section, that there was actual a 1% move that happened inside of this particular channel, which did. And then that's us making a 1% move. But like I said before, it's a 1% move times a multiplier, right? So what that means is 1% times 50x equals 50% gains. So because you use a multiplier of 50x on a 1% move, you're able to take advantage and make 50% on your bag. And like I said, the object here is to do 7 out of 10 trades, making 50% on your bags, which would basically bring you into a 350% gains. And then if you lose 3 of your trades and you normally move your stop losses, right? So 3 out of 10, let's say that you lose the entire 100 or 50%, that means you would lose 150% on your losses. And at the end of the day, this equals out to a win of 200%. Right. So what that really means at the end of the day is if you don't move your if you don't understand the system, or just learning the system, or not moving your stop loss, or just letting the trades do what they do, you should end up after making 10 trades with 200%. So if you have a bag and you average $100 per trade, that means at the end of 10 trades you should be up 100 times 200%. So you should be up $200. $1,000, $2,000. So the goal is to master this very easy 7 out of 10. Not actually be a super trader, just be a trader that can follow simple instructions. And then what your job is to get to a point where you are using a $1,000 bag and getting your trades put in with a 200% gain, which simply means that you take in your 2x on your 1,000, which is 2,000, and that is times 52 weeks a year, and that puts you over the 100K per year, right? So not doing anything special. The hardest part about this system is learning how to take profits and just simply set profits and take them, and not get caught up in trying to extend rallies and caught up in emotional trading, which a lot of times ends up in you not taking 50% gains, but instead taking break even trades, or 10% or 20% gains versus 50. And it kind of makes the process of the 7 out of 10 go even longer. So like I said, we don't teach trading here. What we actually teach is how to take profits. It's a very simple process to get to non-emotional trading and just making trades that make the 50% gains and move on with your life. So that's what we'll be focused on. Other than that, that's really all we have for trading. Welcome to the academy. Moving forward, there will be videos on trades, how we execute them, the 1 hour trade, how we get into a 1 hour trade, and so forth. There's 7 videos on that, or 8 videos on that. And this is just a welcome in. So hope you find it educational, and we're going to focus on the process of learning how to win 7 out of 10 trades and make a 50% gain on each of those trades, while being able to lose 3 of those trades at a 50% loss, and still come up with a 2x on our bag overall. And that is the system for the Crypto Nation Academy. It is really that simple. And like I said, the entire process is really focused on removing emotions and just being a systematic trader, not caring if a coin goes to the moon or if it doesn't. And that is the hardest part about crypto, is to take the 50% gains when there's 500, 600, 700% winners out there. And there is a process that you'll learn to extend your gains and make them even more valuable. But that comes after mastering the first part of the system, which is being a profitable trader and being a trader that takes profits. And then you can learn techniques to extend or get better. But in the beginning, the very first thing is you just want to learn how to play the game. And then you can work on your handles or your 3-point shot or your free throws a little bit later. Right now, you just need to learn how to actually the concept of scoring 2 points, putting a ball in the basket, and not fouling, and how the in and out of bounds area works. So you can master your skills and get a little bit better as you move forward. Other than that, you don't have to, be that great to win, but you can always make yourself even better. That's the beauty of the system. It's designed for people who know absolutely nothing about trading to take advantage of profits and make profits. And actually, the less you know, the better they do. As you move forward, you have to learn to control your emotions and not get caught up in FOMO or wishing for things to do more than they could possibly could. All right, other than that, guys, good luck, God bless, and move on to the next videos, which would be doing the trades, guys. But that's all for the welcome videos. Welcome to BC Crypto's Nations Academy. If you have any questions, as always, send an email to vccryptonation@gmail. Once again, it is vccryptonation@gmail. Or if you're in the US, make sure you include your cell phone number for faster contact, or you can send a text message to 331-454-2027. Keep in mind, those are the only two ways that we communicate. If you get a different message on an admin from a Discord, we won't ask for anything on through the admin on the Discord. We won't send anything to WhatsApp. We don't take Bitcoin, and we don't send messages for you. So if you're interested in enrolling or getting information, make sure that you always go through the email vccryptonation@gmail or the text message 331-454-2027 to ensure that you're actually talking to the real people and not some scammers that are on here. Because there are thousands of scammers on here that will contact you all the time. Just be aware that you're making sure before you do any type of business, you make sure you talk to somebody. And if they don't sound like me, then it's probably not me. Good luck. God bless, guys. Have a great day and focus on what you're doing. And as always, it's crypto trading for dummies. It's really simple. It's not made for experts, it's made for simplicity, but experts can take advantage of it at a very high level because it is removing emotions and just executing trades.